So who is the child who is comparing? I would like to start with you. Do you face these things? And if so, then what is your what are the things that you do to meet this anxiety? What stress buster के लिए? What is your stress buster?
Yes, sir, my faces anxieties, and to keep myself calm, I listen music in my free time.
Okay. Divyani, what about you, beta? Madhurya is also there. Aditi is, I can see Aditi, Madhurya. Anyone would like to speak? If there is anxiety, so what you all do? Ananya is there, Anshika Goyal is there.
I think, ma'am, this is just like a basic thing. Now there is an anxiety, but we have to learn to cope with it. So, ma'am, I think everyone can just pick up a hobby, I guess.
Now this is now something that you have used a word. This has become a basic thing. Okay. It's normal now for you. This is a new normal.
Yes, Ritu ma'am, we have Smriti Bhatia ma'am with us. She has been finally able to join us, and a very welcome to her. And over to you, Ritu ma'am.
So I really extend a warm welcome to you, Ms. Smriti Bhatia. The online platform is a new normal to connect with each other, and because of this online platform only we are able to meet you during this pandemic time also. We are all together in this time facing physical, that's what I was talking to my children just now before you joined, facing physical distancing, quarantine, sometimes feeling helpless, facing grief, anxiety. But together, I think we can strengthen ourselves by supporting each other and ensuring that no one is left behind. And I'm very sure a daily dose of empathy, some compassion, a sprinkle of kindness, and a gentle smile can make things seem better. So I've already taken your time, and I'm eager to hear from you, Ms. Bhatia. So over to my children and to you.
So, a very good afternoon to one and all present here. So, before we begin with uh, today's session about mental health during COVID pandemic, I, Vibha Arora, would take the opportunity to welcome our esteemed resource person, Miss Simriti Bhatia, principal ma'am, teachers, and all my friends. We have joined today's platform to discuss one of the most relevant but ignored fallout of the COVID pandemic, that is mental health of children. To give us an insight on this important aspect, we have with us Miss Simriti Bhatia, who is a trained psychologist and counselor. So we welcome you, ma'am, and look forward to your guidance and insights pertaining to this sensitive issue. Thank you.
As the coronavirus pandemic rapidly swept across the world, it induced a considerable degree of fear, worry, and concern in every individual. But school closed for more than a year and a half now, and all activities almost stalled. The children are probably the one who are hardest hit by COVID. So, as uncertainty of the daily routines, social isolation, worry about getting sick, information overload, rumors and misinformation is literally making life feel out of control for the young ones. They definitely need not only a sympathetic ear, but also guidance to tackle the elevated rates of stress, anxiety caused by this COVID pandemic. To talk about these issues, today we have Ms. Smriti Bhatia with us, who is working as a psychologist at Military Hospital Jalandhar and as a tele-counselor for Yellow Club Kochi with youth mental health. Ma'am is also pursuing her PhD clinical psychology and has a vast experience in dealing with psychological issues related to youth. Looking forward to valuable counseling and suggestions by Smriti ma'am. I now hand over the podium to her.
Okay, so today we are here to talk about the mental health during the COVID times. Okay, as we all know that in 2020 that suddenly the pandemic came and the school got shut down and everything, and it affected our mental health. So we see how it is. And now the first we start with the things like we all have these questions now among the childrens, like is the third wave coming? Will it affect us? Should we get vaccinated or not? There are so many news, like what should be done. So it's causing anxiety and everything. So I just want to clarify with the news what is actually happening.
अभी तक भी ऐसा कोई डेटा नहीं आया कि बच्चों में ज़्यादा सीरियस इन्फेक्शन हुआ। अगर हम पूरा डेटा देखें, इंडियन डेटा देखें, फर्स्ट वेव का, सेकेंड वेव का या ग्लोबल डेटा देखें, तो अभी तक ऐसा कोई डेटा नहीं आया विद ओल्ड द वायरस और द न्यू वेरिएंट्स जहाँ पे ये दिखाया गया है कि बच्चों में अब ज़्यादा सीरियस इन्फेक्शन है। अगर हम सेकेंड वेव का डेटा भी देखें तो जो भी बच्चे एडमिट हुए थे हॉस्पिटल में, 60 to 70% जो बच्चे एडमिट हुए थे, दे वर दोज विद कोमॉर्बिडिटीज, या तो उनकी इम्यूनिटी कम थी या कुछ ऐसे बच्चे थे जो कीमोथेरेपी पे थे। जो हेल्दी बच्चे थे उनको माइल्ड इलनेस हुआ एंड दे रिकवर्ड विदाउट हॉस्पिटलाइजेशन। इसलिए अभी कोई एविडेंस ऐसा नहीं है कि अगर वेव आएगी तो सीवियर इलनेस बच्चों में करेगी। और चाहे हम इंडियन डेटा देखें चाहे ग्लोबल डेटा देखें, और कई पार्ट्स ऑफ द वर्ल्ड में अभी भी कई केसेस आ रहे हैं, नए वेव चल रहे हैं, लेकिन उसमें कभी अभी तक भी ऐसा कोई डेटा नहीं आया कि बच्चों में ज़्यादा सीरियस इन्फेक्शन। तो आई डोंट थिंक दैट वी विल हैव एनी सीरियस इन्फेक्शन in the future in children.
So there is a question people every day children ask that we should get vaccinated or not. Then it will be you must get vaccinated. Okay. So this is how we are going to. So my audience is the teenagers. They go through a lot of things, emotional changes. It's a time where parents and other stuff, it's hard to manage the life. Because behavior changes are there, physical changes are there. So let's just see how changes and this pandemic, how it contributed to our mental health and what difficulties we are facing and how to manage it. As I said it, initially we go to social development changes are there, like likes will change, dislike development is there, then physical changes are there, then biological, everything is changed in this age. First, it's like there will be a mood changes. In teenagers, it's very common to see a stress, they feel stress, the change in the mood. Suddenly one day they want something, then next day it changes. Then individuality, they want to be one. So we all experience in this age that, okay, I want to be a different one, individuality, we all want that. Then conflict. In this age, we feel that parents don't understand us. What we are saying, they are not able to understand. So these are the common things when a teenager age we are. The risk taking, we feel that we should do something new. We take the risks in this age. Peer support, we all look for the big circles. We want to be the center of attention, everything. Then we look at the values. We all develop in this age that, okay, I have this idea, I have these things. Whether it is acceptable or not, we look into the society, the social development is there in this. Then there are relationships, we want to change, we want to add in, because the physical changes are there, biological changes are there. So these kind of issues are common faced by adults. And it's very risk-taking behavior in this age. We all want to try something new. Curiosity level is too high. So these all are the things which are common among this age. And the first, their most common thing is the teenagers feel like, okay, my parents don't understand me. What I want to change, I want new fashion, and they are saying, okay, you don't do this. And then we all want to eat something, sleep, and they are making us like, no, you should not do this, no, do that. And we feel that they are coming in our boundaries. we feel suffocated, and okay, the teenagers feel like suffocated. What is happening? Like, why my parents are asking me, not allowing me to go out? What's why they are saying so much to me? Why don't they leave me alone? All these conflicts are common in teenage time. They're saying us to make a routine, and we're like, we are not going to. The teenagers and this such age, the career choice. In that also, there is a conflict between a parents and a children. You want to become something, they want you to become something else. Then the idea clash. Then these are the conflicts. Then you feel a generation gap. If they say something, they'll be like, okay, they are saying me this, but they don't understand today the situation is changed. Then physiological changes all over they don't understand, you feel like. So all these are the conflicts, a parent from the parents, you feel that. In current scenario, the COVID has added a lot of things, new things to our mental health. Our screen time has increased, the level of physical activities has decreased, social inactivity is decreased, then informed. It means that we are overloaded with the information. Every time we scroll something, then it will be like, okay, the COVID is increasing, now new viruses are there, black virus, blue fungus is there. We all talk about, we are overloaded with the knowledge and we don't know the authenticity of that knowledge. That is another problem nowadays the children are facing, and they don't know whom they should approach and what they should do to clarify that what they have read is right or not, and it causes fear. Then sleep, we don't have routine nowadays. We wake up just before an online class and then after that go to sleep. No routine, nothing. Eating at night, sleeping in morning. No. And then there is another thing is fear of family member. We watch the news COVID. Every time that we watch news there is something. Okay, somebody is dying. This statistics, that statistics comparison. It causing a fear in children. Okay, what? And then inattention. There's not too much to do. Already we are so active, but now the screen time, it's hard to focus. So everyone is facing that problem, especially the teenagers, online class or anything. Inattention is there, and teenagers are mainly it is increased like boredom. What to do? No social activity is there, no connectivity, physical activity can be done. The screen time is also there. Then classes, everything. So these are the additional problems are due to COVID. The psychological problems has increased, which are like FOMO. We all are trying to avoid a social media sometimes and Google or other stuff. We like, okay, we need a gap. But what is happening right now is when we do it, we feel like, oh, I must have missed something. There must be a Google meeting which I have missed it. Maybe there is another thing, a news which I might miss. So it's making us hard to go away from the screen, mobiles, or any other social media if we are trying to do it also. So it's too fear is there. Okay, I should, if I go out from the screen time, there must be something I'll miss. Whether it is necessary or not, but just scrolling, we are wasting our time. We got addicted kind of to it. That okay, I missed something. Then another addition to that, it is behavior addiction is there nowadays. Online gaming addiction, gambling addiction is there. We all want a quick satisfaction, which is adding to this kind of a behavior. We invest in something and we instantly want that things to be get gratify, satisfaction level. The patience level is somewhere in this age, it is already a high curiosity level and everything, risk taking behavior is so high. So it adding to all these gambling addictions, and because it's giving us instant gratification. If we invest something, we get it. It helps us to get socialized with things. So we are getting addicted to it. And always remember the things start with a habit. We are like, okay, something we are doing daily basis, it's enjoying, we are liking it. But when you only invest in that thing and other things start getting disturbed, that's where the addiction comes. So if you're playing something, it won't be addiction. It will be like starting you maybe connecting. But if it's disturbing your studies, everything it's getting, your parents are saying you're not doing anything, your family, your other stuff, and you're only investing time in gaming, that's you should be see that you maybe are getting addicted to it. Then it's a nomophobia. The nomophobia is also increased nowadays. It's a phobia in which you cannot keep your phone away from yourself. Every time you check your phone, you feel, oh, I might have missed a call. Where's my phone? If the phone is not there, if you wake up and the phone is not there, you feel like anxiety symptoms. Where's my phone? What is happening? So all this has been increased during the COVID because we got limited. And if it is 90% charge, you want to make it 100%. What happened if I go somewhere and I got lost it? Where's my phone? So we are so addicted, we are feeling to a phone that is contributing to nomophobia. Like if I lost my phone, what will happen? I'll be lost because all we are depending on the phone nowadays. So it is contributing in a nomophobia stuff. Then the body image. It is very common and increasing also nowadays. We're feeling like we're sitting at home, we're gaining weight. Okay, just follow something on a weight challenges, 20 days challenge and all other challenges. And what we do without knowing the consequences, without knowing the everything, we just randomly follow the stuff. In that, we start eating. Either we eat more to gain a weight in a short span, or it's like we eat very less to become a zero figure kind of stuff, which is very common. We all the teenagers, girls and boys want to look handsome because they are in that biological also attraction. We all want it, but in this age it is on the more because we feel like okay, I want the attraction, girls, friends, for everything should be there. So more focused on the body. It is it. But if you are doing it long term consequences, we are not thinking. We are just focused on now. Then is COVID the increase in anxiety. What is happening? What is happening? Okay, COVID, whether the things will get settled down, uncertainty of exams is there, what will be my future, what is going to be happen next. All this are causing the anxiety. And the anxiety has increased in COVID because of that nobody knows how to deal it actually. It's a new normal for everyone, and the depression is there. We are limited, we don't know what to do, just screen time and room. It's mostly nowadays it is like that only, not only for us, everyone. And but in the we are like online classes and other things are there, so we feel like okay, this is only the thing we can do, no other thing, just sitting and watching and feeling depressed because nothing is to do. So depression is also increased nowadays. And most difficult thing and most like common thing is self-labeling. We do random scrolling and just come to know about a one word that is, for example, depression. We scroll everywhere without knowing what is it. It's good or website is there, reliability is there of that website or nothing, or we know what is other symptoms. We just label ourselves for 10 days or something, or for even 2 days. I'm not talking to my parents. My parents will come to me and say like, okay, are you depressed? So it's like self-labeling is coming, which is actually contributing to all the other problems in life. Because we are very often in this virtual world where you get all the news. So you should be very careful what you watch, what you label. Because if once you label yourself, your mind start working in such a way. Okay, I label myself as a depressed person, and you start searching for the things. Okay, I might have this thing. You have a checklist in your mind. Okay, this is happening with me. I'm depressed. This is happening. So you feel like helplessness. If you label also, it can contribute later to another's psychological problems. So be very careful when you are talking about the psychological terms and where you're searching about them, and when you're labeling either to yourself or someone else, you should be very careful in that because the words actually matters a lot. In the psychological field side, it matter a lot what you say. If somebody is sitting in front of you and every day you're saying that person you're depressed, that person might be feel like that, and then the symptoms will be there. So it's very important where what you search and what you say to yourself and to others, because in this limited time we are not so socialized, or where we are we don't know. It's a virtual world. So be careful where you do. And there's another thing is compulsive hoarding. Compulsive hoarding is like the collecting. Nowadays, there is a shortage of all this stuff. A lockdown will be there, the stuff will be short, and then there's oxygen cylinder and everything. So we have that urge to hoard. Okay, maybe it will get distributed, maybe it's limited, we won't get it again. But it's again turning into another stuff also. Not only limited to the oxygen cylinder or other stuffs, we feeling like okay, the shortage is coming. So too much hoarding is there nowadays. It's found in the teenagers and others. We might miss it. We won't get it again. Lockdown will be there. What is going to be happen? So it should be watch out what you are doing. And then the domestic violence has increased. So if you are facing, earlier what happened is you can go out, talk to someone, tell about, you come to the school, you tell to your teachers if something is like that happening, or any other kind of violence at school level, you can tell to your parents, at there you can tell to your teachers. So there will be a socialist where you can ventilate and other stuff. So if you're facing any kind of this domestic violence or any stuff at your home or nearby, you're watching that, just stand for it. Okay? Don't bear it. So, and if it is causing any problem, come ask for the help for it. These are the red flags. As I already mentioned, we are like reading from somewhere, but we don't know what exactly are we suffering it or not. It just we labeled ourselves. So these are the red flags. If you're observing a sudden change in your sleep pattern. Nowadays it is there like routine, but you are not able to sleep for one whole day. It's okay. Two, you are going again and again. The sleep pattern is changing. You should be very careful. You should observe yourself in this red. Observe yourself or others around you, that whether these are the symptoms you are feeling or sleep change is there. You don't feel like eating. It may be due to that you don't do any physical activity, so you don't feel hungry. But you should be notice that are you eating minimum? You feel like you want to eat something? Is there any change in your diet? Then the mood change. It's very common in teenagers. The mood changes. One day they want something, second day you want something else. But if it is fluctuating too much in a day, you don't feel like getting up from your bed. Every day it is happening. You have a running thoughts in your brain. Okay, I am helpless or something, and mood is too gloomy or sad. You should watch it. It may be not normal that. Then, if you are feeling social withdrawal, you don't want to connect with people. Earlier, you were very good. A sudden change in behavior, you can see that. Earlier you were very jolly person. You like to connect with the people, but now you are seeing that you don't feel like. You limited yourself. Your behavior is changing. So you should be careful in that. Either it is happening with me, like earlier I used to go out, not go out, like even call, but now you don't even feel like calling or texting someone, just want to be alone. Then is there any effect in your decision making stuff? Are you able to take the decision or do the things that you earlier able to do that? Or is there any change? You're not able to take daily decisions, what to do, what is not happening. And when you're sleeping, next is unexplained nightmares. Are you getting any nightmares? Because nightmare doesn't come with other stuff. Maybe there is any emotional stuff or any other things. So if you're facing these kind of problems, you should seek for help. You should ask what is happening. Self-injuries. If you feel like or you have or anyone you notice is having injuries, any kind of marks or anything, the suddenly you should keep a watch on that. Or if you are having that, you should consult it because this injuries is like emotional conflict. There must be something. So these are the red flags. You should be very. And all it comes with observation. So either observe yourself. You should be very, or others also. You should be very careful what is happening. Then you feel like okay, my life is full helplessness, like out of control, nothing is in my hand, you can't move yourself, you can't find out where you are. It is common in teenagers. It's identity, you are fighting, you don't know where to go, the career options are there. This is another thing. But if you are feeling too much in life, you can't even think of what is next season you're not able to take, what to do. Next day you're not able to plan. You're feeling okay, nothing can be done. I'm just stuck. I'm like that only. So it's, if too much thought like that coming, then you should be little thinking like maybe something. And then the suicidal thoughts. If you ever had a suicidal thoughts, you're feeling like okay, I'm having this thought, share it. Suicidal thoughts, share it. Come out, talk about it. Don't let it inside or just bottle up that I had once thought. We all have sometimes, but suicidal thought is something which is need to be addressed urgently. So if you feel that you might have this kind of a thoughts, come up, talk to your counselor, talk to your teachers, talk to someone. These thoughts are really need to be addressed in that time. Explosive anger. You feel that your anger is getting out of control. Too much irritability is there. In all these flags, you should be careful that what is the intensity, what is the frequency of all these things, how long duration it is happening. It's not like one day you are having sleep change or one day your mood is changed or decision making or anything you feel it is will be contributing to any mental illness. But you should see what is happening. If it is continuing for a 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, you should come out, feel, talk to someone, get things done. That's why the first thing to deal with any kind of mental illness is to you should strong enough to ask for help. Ask from anyone, your parents, your teachers, or whom you are ever comfortable with. It can be your best friend also. You should talk to them strong enough. Don't get this stigmatized. I maybe have a mental issue or maybe any other problem. What will they think? What it's okay. Try it. Ask for help if you are. Either it can be small thing for me, but if you are feeling a pain, it means it's a valid. Your small pain can be, your pain is there now, so it is valid for you. If it is valid for you, that means you should ask for help. You should not look at okay, the people will think that what rubbish thing and what things they are talking about. If you are going through it, come out. Ask for help in that sense. The first step is strong enough to ask. Don't think that what others think, what is going to be happen. So come out from that stigma side. In that now, how to deal with the question is always like okay, we all are aware about what is happening with us, this age factor, other things. So what to do? We should start with ourselves, what we can do for us. Look for some physical health activities at the home you can, because there are something you can do. Just lying on a bed doesn't work for you. Something you have to start with yourself to promote your own mental health. If you are making a goal, making a routine, it should be always realistic. It should be not like you're making a timetable or making a management, practicing a time management. In that, you are just putting, I'll do this to 10 o'clock, then 6 o'clock, this and 7. But that never happens. If it is going to be like that, it's like not going to work for anyone. So, whatever goal you are putting, you should be knowing that this is my limit and I can only do this. It's slowly you can increase your things, but you should be always whatever you plan your targets you want to after 11, 12 you want to achieve something, so you study every day. It's like that. So every day you put efforts for something and then you get it. So it should be realistic. It's not like one day I will complete whole book. It won't going to work for things. So whatever you're planning, it should be in such a way that you are able to achieve it. So be very careful how you are making a time management. Another thing, as I already said, if you are feeling something, it's your pain. You are going through it. It can be a simple thing for me, but it can be a big thing for you. So talk about it. Share, ventilate. If you have someone to talk about it, talk about it. You can write it, but just ventilate. They will understand. Everyone is going through this, they will understand. So come out with your things. Practice the relaxations techniques. Relaxations will help you to get all this settle, the stress level will be decreased. Relaxation, you can go with the yoga stuff and meditations and other stuff. Then always believe that the things are going to change. Things are going, hope should be there. If you are feeling helplessness and you're not able to motivate, feel change. Everyone is going through this pandemic, everything is happening. So everything feels hope. Hope is there. It's not like it's going to be forever like that. So hope is there. So believe in that sense. Then you are at home right now. Nobody is with you, but your parents are. So if you have nobody else to talk, but your parents are there for you. So strengthen your relationship with them. You missed out the few things. Talk to them. Ask about them what is happening. So start from yourself. Promote your own mental health starting. Then the another common issues nowadays because deal with is what news channel and other stuff. Again, I'm saying only believe on the authorized organizations, what the fact they are saying, like WHO, UNICEF, and other government sources. Don't go for this any news channel or any WhatsApp news and believe it because it will burden you. It will cause more anxiety, more things, and liability will not be there. You are just passing the message from one and getting from here. So you should be very careful what you are watching and what you are talking about. Once you watch something, you discuss with your friends, they also might get anxiety or what is happening, okay, what will be the next. So what news you are sharing, what you are watching, everything should be authentic. Authorized organization, only you believe it. Then the boredom is also common nowadays. So in that sense, you can pursue you can learn new languages. There are so many apps are there where you can learn new languages if you want to go abroad or something. You can start from here, learn languages, pursue your art, music. So be creative in this time because it's a new normal for everyone. So you have to be creative. What you can do. Look around yourself. Is there any hobby you have earlier? Try to fit in according to the situation. You don't get time for something, or you develop a new hobby in that sense. So it's kind of look at it as an opportunity to improve yourself. It's just like blaming a situation. It's better to boredom or anything you feel, just try to invest time. Take it as an opportunity instead of like blaming other stuff and this is happening, this is not happening. Because you cannot do anything else that. Focus on what you can change. Then explore. You are in such a age, school age, 11, 12, and this. So this is a day, time. After that, you are going to choose your career where you want to be. So this is the best time where you can explore more. You have enough time to explore your interests, your career path, where you want to go. It will help you to understand what is happening, what I want actually. There are a lot of things you get, career counseling is there, stuff is there. So just find out your area of interest. And again, wherever you are investing your time, either you're watching something or be careful with that because the time will never come back. So be very careful where you are watching what you're doing in that sense. Now in this age we all want attention in this age, the teenagers, the things are changing and might many goes into a relationship stuff. It's a common thing. So if you are in any relationship, you should be very careful. You should not be in that rational. You should be rational rather than emotion kind of person. If somebody, okay, we fought and somebody said something to you and you'll be like, the world is ended and everything is happening with me. So don't get too much emotional in that. It's to be good to be emotional attachment and everything is there. But think rationally about it. Somebody said me and just come cutting my hands on this stuff or feeling too much exhausted. Should be very rational what you are doing. Don't let your emotions overcome that. In such a age, have a future. Think about it. Think in a holistic manner. What will be the consequences of what you are doing? And you always say the parents don't give us freedom, because freedom, if they are giving also, it comes with the responsibilities. Freedom is not just a thing that they can give you. They think that you are not in such a way mature enough to handle the stuff. So if they give you any kind of a freedom, you should be very responsible that my parents is giving me and what I am using, how I am using it. So you should be responsible enough if you're getting a, because many are not getting. If you are getting something, you should be responsible to handle in that sense how it is happening. And if you are into any relationship with something, you okay, your parents, everything is okay, but you should be very responsible what you are doing, what you are not doing. It should be like holistic. Always should be a holistic way. What is going to be next? Not just today. What is going to be next? How everything is going to be? What I want in my life. So be rational in that thing. And be very careful when you are taking this sort of relationship decisions. Just don't come in a peer pressure that everyone is having, so I want it. Or any other decision. Okay, this person is leaving, I cannot believe. So be very careful what you are thinking, what decision you are making on that. That I'm not going to school, something is happening. Or if the relationship is disturbing you, you should be very careful what you are doing, what you are seeing in that. So your decisions should be very, very carefully. You should take the decisions and don't jump in the conclusion. Nowadays, we all are in a virtual world. If you are into any relationship or any stuff, so don't come. The person is not picking my calls. The person is not answering my stuff. So I'll be okay. This person don't like me. I'm not getting the messages. So don't, not for the any kind of relationship in that. Don't just jump into the conclusion that this person has not attended my calls for 2 3 days and this person don't like me. There might be another reasons. There might be they are not, maybe the phone is damaged, anything can be happen. So don't stop jumping into the conclusion. Then if you're facing any sort of abuse, any sort, there should be a zero tolerance for that. You should end up that thing that particular time, because any sort of abuse, assault is not entertained. You should go out and complain about it. So zero tolerance for any sort. If somebody is cyberbullying or anything or any kind of you're facing any threat or any emotional threat in any kind of relationship, just come out of it. Just end it. You might find it difficult initially. You might be attached to that person. You might find it difficult, but it's for you. You have to take a stand. So if any kind of conflicts is there about any social abuse, any kind of bullying is there, anything you feel, any kind of somebody saying something to you, threatening to you, just say no to that thing and end that thing that time. And if you feel you cannot, you tell to your parents, share with the others elders which you think can help you. But there should be a zero tolerance in any relationship, this kind of stuff. And when you know, prioritize your needs. If you are jumping into relationships, other things, you should know that how this is going to affect my career, how where I will be after this. Will it be good? Will my things will get affected? Whether I'm able to manage? If your grades or anything is affecting in that sense, you should be thinking again that what if your parents, your social circle, things are getting affected. You should be knowing that okay, this things is okay, but other things are more important in my life. My career is, if my career is more important, where I will be, I don't know. Next thing, you should invest time in that things, the things that you need to be permanent in your life. Career and the stuff are the permanent stuff. So you should know where you want to invest your time, what you are doing, and how much time you are giving to these things instead of the things you have already wanted to be, or you must all have dreams, I want to be that, other things. So you should be very careful that where you are investing your time. If you're not able to handle any of the things, any emotional conflict you're facing, anything, just come out, ask, ask for the help from anyone you feel comfortable with. It's not just one thing, ventilate. Don't bottle up. The more you bottle up, the more you suffer. It's better to tell someone. Nowadays, in teenagers, it's very, because they're so excited, risk-taking behavior is okay, try something new, the peer pressure, the everything. So substance abuse is very common. We all can try new things, lamplight, temptation, all these things seem to be tempting for teenagers and other stuff. But you should understand what are the long-term consequences of it. Substance abuse may not be affecting you in 1 day, 2 day. You're taking it once, twice, you started with a habit. It will turn into the addiction stuff. You might be feeling, I want everything now. That this is my world where substance abuse is everything. I cannot live without it. It will turn into that. Initially, everything starts with a habit and then it turns to addiction. So you should be very careful what you are doing, because you should know that today what you are doing is long-term consequences. It's very important to be aware about that. If you are taking a long term, you are taking any kind of like chit or any kind of you're taking in that substance, it will cause a sexual dysfunctioning. There are higher chances you will get that. So cognitive impairment. You're such a brilliant mind. Youth is such a brilliant mind, and it will be affected. Your dreams, your everything will be trouble in that. You should be careful while taking or starting something. Your decision making, you will feel memory issues, the physical issues. You won't be that healthy, even you pretend to be, but inside, if you're taking it for a long time, your liver will be effective. Now your parents want you to become something. You want, you have dreams, but later the other things, everything will be shattered. So you should be very careful what your decision are you taking today, because long-term consequences is all that. It will impact your academics. You are not able to concentrate. If you are taking alcohol and other stuff regular, it will start craving and you can't focus on anything else. So if you can't focus, attention is not there, how will you study? Your academics, your dreams, again it will be affected from that. And there are many studies which says that more you are into the substance abuse and other things, the more you are prone to the mental disorders. Depression, anxiety, all are these are correlated with each other. So if you are taking all these things, there are higher chances you end up with these mental disorders. And these are another physical issues like HIV. These are also prone to the people those who are taking this kind of substance abuse for a long or for short also, because every they will affect you. Not in a major term if you are taking for sure, but it will. And then if it is converted into addiction or anything else, you're taking continuously a road rage. We all get drunk. We feel like okay, now I'm the king and queen. The road rage will be there. So you feel you want money for it. So you can be. It can be turned. It can spoil. Overall, it will spoil your life. Your all other domains of your life, all your development, social, emotional, everything will be disturbed if you are taking it. Not you might not feel it today, but tomorrow it is going to, and you're sure for that. If you have any, you want to go to abroad or anywhere else, in Punjab side you all want to go to Canada and other stuff, so it will be interest to your dreams. There's no, if you are in legal case or anything, if you got into stuff, they check you whether you are fit for going or not, then it will be hindrance to your dreams. In army and other stuff, you want to have a plan to join or anything else, anywhere else, there will be a problem in that sense. Nobody will take for drug addict or any other thing. Then another problem is nowadays is online classes. We all feel like it's getting boring. I don't know how to handle it. What is happening with it? So burden level, we will burden level. But there should be another way. Earlier we used to get up in the morning. We have to carry that bags to school. Then the particular time we have to sit in a class. You can't go anywhere. You can't take a break. Then also you're sitting. So all this burden in another way has reduced. Now you just wake up just before your online class starts. You don't have to be in that proper dress. You wear that time particular only. So all that others burden actually has reduced. Now you only have one burden from your school side, that is you have to attend that classes. Earlier you were so burdened on other stuff that every day regularly you have to go, you feel very hard to get up. But now that this has changed. So just looking into the problem that it is increased, the online classes increased. What about the other stuff which has decreased? In a holistic view, the where actually your burden level has increased or decreased. And you blame teachers, they are not able to happening, they are not able to communicate what is happening, we don't know what they're saying, everything is going on. It's new normal, it's a pandemic, it's new normal for everyone. So try to understand your teachers also. Develop a good bonding with them. If they are online classes, you are not feeling comfortable, approach them later. Note down the points, approach them later. Talk to them that fix a schedule next time. So it's not burden. Just don't just focus on the problem that is online class is a problem. Focus on a solution. What is happening? What can I do in that sense? For your teachers also it's very new. They are also not very comfortable. They are now, but still it's new for them also to prepare the stuff and everything. And if you feel that class is boring or everything, why don't you interact? It should be a two-way. Communication is a two-way process. It's not a single. If your teacher is saying something and she's asking, do you have any doubt? That thing stops now. You know that what topic she's going to take, what is going to happen next class. Be active in that. Ask more questions, make it more interactive. So you can get as much as knowledge you can. And you are getting a live sessions. It's not just recording. So make it full use of it. Instead of focusing that ma'am is coming and just telling and something and she's going, or focusing on other stuff, be active in that stuff. Ask more questions. It's not like you don't know what she's going to teach. So be active in that sense. Make it two-way, make it lively. It's one-way communication is always boring. So make it two-way. There is another stuff we all every time sitting in front of screens, eye strain is there, what to do. Again, the things are happening. So there is one rule that is called 20-20 rules. In that, you can after 20 minutes, just from the 20 feet of your screen, look here and there for 20 seconds. Take a 20 seconds break. It will help you to overcome that strain, digital eye strain if you are feeling. It will reduce it. So practice it on the daily basis if you are feeling that you are having an eye strain and look things forward. See what can be done. So you have to come out of that kind of a stuff or mindset that others will do it. Your teachers are putting efforts. You should also put. If you are not able to understand, maybe you are not able to comfortable with teacher, make a group studies. Do a group study, make a online, the comfortable you are friends with, ask them to read one topic. So be in that stuff. Find a solution for your problems. The major problem is now we all at the home, the teenagers, others, we feel that parents don't understand us. Parents think that they know better than us, they don't understand us. So what should we do? In that sense, always don't argue with your parents. If they are saying something, first of all, just show some patience. Listen to them what they are saying. Don't be just ready to just, okay, I'll counter my parents. I have these things, I'll counter. They don't understand. Don't go with that mindset whenever you're putting your any stuff in front of them, any choices you are telling to them. Be patient what they are trying to tell you also. They are enough, they are mature enough. At least they are mature than you. They have seen more. So just try to show some patience what they are saying. If you go with a mindset, okay, the argument, I am in a mood that I will show my parents this is the right, it will end up in argument. So it's better to show patience, understand what they are trying to say. They may be not able to tell you exactly, but they will explain you another way. So be patient, listen to them, what they are doing. And don't just stuck to your room. You are like, leave us alone. You tell your parents, okay, leave us alone. We are in one room, they are in another room. They are not allowed to come in your room. So how will it work? Strengthen your relationships. Handle the generation gap. If they're not understanding something, share moments with them, sit with them, talk to them. You are also always on phone and other stuff. They also feel lonely, everything. Just talk to them, share a moment with them. This is a good time to handle all these things. They are in front of you only, they are also not going anywhere. Then another thing is praise your parents, okay? Another way to handle a generation gap is to understand them also. It's not just, again, it's not just a one-way process that you expect all from your parents to come to you and praise you if you've done something. And if they do something, you say that, oh, it's the parents, now their responsibility. No, you should go and talk to them also, praise them also. In this pandemic situation, they have also gone, they are facing, some parents are facing financial crises are there, their job workload is different. This is new normal for them also. They even are not too trained to handle these things. So it's praise them, but still they are not complaining. They just want you to do your job, your stuff. They want you to explore your stuff, do things in right manners. They are just expecting this. But instead of blaming, just try to understand their position also. That they have gone through a lot. This pandemic is new for everyone. They haven't seen this kind of situation before. They were also stuck now. Your mothers is cooking every day. They are doing. So they are also stuck. They also have no entertainment. They have a burden. They have to look after you. They are scared like financially. They are other stuff also. They are also having anxiety. If what happened, the COVID happens to them. They also have these things. But still they feel that they are mature enough to handle. So just talk to them. If you are feeling anything, just talk to them. Improve your communication skills. Praise them. Don't just expect from them to come to you always. You can go and ask them that whether how's your day? Is there everything is okay with you? Because the mental health, mental disorder, mental illness, anything, it affects any age. So if you can feel it, they can also feel it, the same thing on that age. So improve your communication skills with your parents, strengthen that. Once you strengthen the relationship, communication skills are smooth, then they will understand you, you can understand them better. So both should provide a space. If you say that my parents are not giving me a space or they are not able to understand what is happening with me, you should be understanding them also, that they are not trained to handle such situations. They are handling. So you should be praise them. And if you feel that they are coming, they are interfering, they are checking your phones, they are doing that. My parents are coming. Many teenagers feel that. Why they are so into my stuff? Why don't they go and do their stuff? So it is not their interference. I must say it's their responsibility. Being a parent, it is they assure that they will provide you a safe environment. There is a recently a incident there, online classes of Tamil Nadu. There is a they the teacher was sending something bad, the students were doing something bad. It's just the parents who looked into the matter and then it just come out and sort it out. So it's their responsibility. It's not their interference. It's their responsibility that they will provide you a safe environment. They want you to grow in such a manner. So it's your responsibility. Don't take it as interference. They will do it. They will check it because you don't know, maybe you end up somewhere else. They can guide you. So they don't want you to end up in any kind of trouble or anything they have faced. So they want you to be in such a way. So safe environment is their responsibility. It's not their interference. Value based. This is a time where you can work on yourself. Work on yourself, share your responsibilities with the parents. Don't just lie on the bed and just, okay, they are working, let them do. Be mixed with them. Learn the things, what is happening, other stuff. And again, don't just label the behavior. I said earlier, we have noticed the red flags. So just notice that behavior. Not just believe that, not blame anyone or not say that individual is like that. You might be suffering from something, she might be suffering from kind of any behavior. So it should not be like that the person is bad. So you should be very careful when you say something or do something. Another thing is, this is a time where you can increase your self-confidence. There are so many websites and other stuff where you can work on yourself. This is the age where you can easily work out on yourself. You're going to attend a colleges, there you're going to do the things and stuff. It should be. Thank you.
Okay, so that was indeed a very informative presentation. And I now open the session for question answer round or discussion. Children, if you have your doubts, queries, you can raise your hand, and Supriya ma'am or Vandana ma'am will take up your questions. I mean, they will allow you, and then you can ask questions to Smriti ma'am. She will try to answer.
Children, are we ready with our any queries that we have in mind, bachas? And yes, Viva, please go ahead, bete.
Yes, ma'am. My mother has asked a question that the children spend their 3 to 4 hours doing their online classes, and after that 1 to 2 hours with their assignments. So she wants to know that is the health important or the studies, as there is too much pressure on children.
It's like, look, we all know you're in 11th, 12th class, you know what is your syllabus, other stuff is there. Then what? If it is like there, what they expect, they want you to study and other stuff is there, the health is important, but if your problem is like, if you're facing problem with the screen time, this is the main issues nowadays, the screen time is affecting, the long duration you can't see. So why don't you buy a stuff, a hard copies? Your syllabus and everything is limited. So whether if you read that books, it won't be affecting your health much. You get your time to study, you can do it later. So it won't be that effective if you buy a hard copies, depending on just depending on the screen times and others. Otherwise, it's not much that is affecting you. So you can tell your parents to buy a stuff, a hard copies for you, which is easy for you to manage. Your health will not be affected with that stuff.
Thank you, ma'am.
And as ma'am said, that 20-20-20 rules you should follow. That's very important. I hope you all are following that, and you all know. I am very sure, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, children, yes, Javeer. And then is Arshia. Next is Arshia. Javeer, yes, have your query, bete.
Good afternoon, ma'am. My question is, how do we differentiate between sadness and mental illness?
Sadness is something which comes, okay, it comes and you ventilate it and you'll be okay with that. It won't disturb much your stuff. You're able to work, you're able to eat, you're able to sleep nicely. It won't be much affecting your lifestyle. But depression is something it will take, it's a long duration first thing. Even you ventilate, it will take time. Your health won't feel
Smriti, can I add a word or two over here, if you allow me?
what, ma'am?
Can I add a word or two over here to this query as well?
Yes, ma'am, please.
If you allow me. Thank you so much. Javid, that was actually a great question that you asked, and normally like Smriti ma'am was talking to us कि हम लेबल कर देते हैं अपने आप को बहुत जल्दी कि आज मैं थोड़ी सी उदास हूँ तो शायद मेरे को डिप्रेशन हो गया और ये डिप्रेशन आई थिंक स्मृति आई विल शेयर विथ यू हैज बिकम अ वेरी वेरी कॉमन टर्म विथ द लेटेस्ट जनरेशन कि अगर इफ वी आर फीलिंग लो एंड 2 दिन अगर मेरी सैडनेस चली है तो दैट मीन्स मेरे को डिप्रेशन हो गया है तो नॉर्मली यू ऑल आर द चिल्ड्रन हु हैव टेकन अप साइकोलॉजी and as ma'am would have talked to you, sadness is just state of mind, and depression or mental illness becomes a disease, and I'm very sure that we are able to differentiate now. अगर हमको स्माइल नहीं आई तो इट्स ओके, मेरा एक बैज भी लगा हुआ है यहाँ पे, ओके इट्स ओके नॉट टू बी ओके. So and what pointers that Smriti ma'am shared with us, I think if we brainstorm them, we can find ways to get the smiles back on our face. जल्दी जल्दी से अपने आप को लेबल मत करना. दुनिया आजकल हम लोग जब अपने सोशल मीडिया पे जाते हैं ना, फटाफट आ जाता है क्या स्टेटस है, टू डिप्रेस्ड. नहीं, इट्स जस्ट दैट आज कोई इश्यू हो गया जो मेरे से हैंडल नहीं हो रहा है. Thank you, Smriti. Thank you. Over to the next question.
Ma'am, my question is, how does a person ensure mental health and well-being?
I didn't get your question.
Ma'am, how does a person ensure mental health and well-being?
Sorry, I'm not able to get your question.
Smriti, I'll just, if you're able to hear me, I'll just repeat Arshiya's question. How does a person ensure mental health and well-being?
Okay. As I already mentioned that stuff, you can follow the routine. Routine stuff is there. You can follow the physical activities, other stuff, relaxation techniques. So it will help you to be relaxed, the stress level, other things will be under control. So that's how you can manage your mental health, mental well-being. Invest your time in the things which makes you happy. Okay? This is all the things which makes you promote your own health. The points I mentioned, in that sense you can promote your health, mental health. Find out your hobbies, find out your interest, that practice relaxation techniques. These are the stuff which can help you to improve your mental health and well-being. Okay.
Yes, Aditi, you also want to ask something, Vilya?
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon to everyone. Ma'am, my question is, how do you, ma'am, cure anxiety and like accept criticism?
What I didn't get you.
Ma'am, saying
Can you please
how?
repeat?
Yes, ma'am. Sure. How do you, ma'am, cure anxiety and like accept criticism?
Okay. It's like anxiety is what? When you are thinking about either too much about the future, or either if you are thinking about too much about the past. So this is what is called the anxiety. So for that you need to be practice mindfulness stuff to be your mind in the present. If you are thinking too much what is going to be happen next, uncertainty, exams, if you are, for example, you are students, you want to be, you are thinking that what, when will my exams will be there, uncertainty is there. So think about today, what can you today you can do for that. Exams, they will happen, one day they will happen, but you should be prepare yourself. Like for other stuff, every time we go for anything, we should be already prepared. So focus on today. The focus on do the things which you can focus today. If you think about too much, it will cause anxiety in you. Because the exams are going to be happen, not today, maybe tomorrow. But what you can do is focus now. Today, what you can do, you can learn, or you can revise what you have learned. So if you are worried too much about the outcome, when will the exam, will I get passed, what will things going to happen, if I going to apply for college, will that be good? If you are thinking in such a manner, in an outcome phase, it will create anxiety. So focus on the things today you can do for that, and develop a routine in such a way. So it will help you to decrease the anxiety. Anxiety is basically when you think too much about your future or too less.
And my second part of the question was that how do you, ma'am, accept criticism?
What is that? I'm not getting it.
Your voice is echoing, bache. You can repeat your question.
Aditi,
Yes,
could you repeat
ma'am.
the question?
Yes, ma'am. I was asking, how do you accept, ma'am, criticism?
Great question.
Vandana ma'am, you could hear?
Yeah. Can I repeat? Can I pass the question to Smriti ma'am? Smriti, Aditi is asking ki how do we handle criticism?
Criticism.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's very tough for all the ages to handle it. So yeah. So you first look at what other is trying to say. Again, I must say you should look in a holistic manner. Don't take everything or jump into the conclusion, which is very common. If somebody is criticizing, you find out the way, like what it is. Don't give your interpretation to everything and jump into the conclusion, okay, this person is pointing me for this thing. So try to understand what is happening, why that person is criticizing, whether it is criticizing or something else. So be very, in that sense, you should know what is happening. So improve your communication. Don't jump into conclusions. If somebody is criticizing, you should know why. Try to answer, try to find out the question. Talk to that person.
Aditi, did you get the
Yes,
answer,
ma'am.
beta?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Perfect, beta. Any other query we have? Smriti ma'am, I was wanting to ask one query on behalf of my children, which generally children come up with. Can I come up with that?
Yes, ma'am, please.
मेरे को बच्चों ने भेजा था एक क्वेश्चन वाज आप जब ये डाइटरी हैबिट्स की बात कर रहे थे स्मृति
किस बारे में?
so the dietary habits like you were talking about when we are feeling anxious or emotionally not very stable we tend to eat more.
Yes, ma'am.
So one of the children was discussing with me that how do we come to know ki is it just that I am hungry or I am a foodie or yes maybe I am going through some mental upheaval.
If a sudden change in your food habits, you notice a sudden change in your food habits, then I already mentioned the behavior change, the food habit, the sleep pattern. It's not a one-day thing. The frequency matters, the intensity matter of the things you are, the long duration you are taking it. It's not like for sadness, we already said that, okay, it's not a 1 day, 2, 3 day. If it's a depression, it will be long. So like that only, if you notice that the sudden change in your food habits, you're eating more, it might be something. So be observed first for everything for a mental illness, you should be first observe yourself or you are observing others. So observation is the first thing in that, then only you can find out the red flags and then you can work on it. And the next step, if you find out any kind of red flags, come out, talk to someone. That so if it is not normal, like one day you have that I'm eating more, you must be foodie, okay, it's okay. But if you have sudden change in your food habits, you're eating too much and you are vomiting or you are not eating any kind of stuff, any kind of change in that stuff, then only you should be consider it as a red flags.
Perfect. Thank you so much,
I
Smriti.
would like to add,
And I can see Madhurya wanting to ask a question. Yes, Madhurya.
Yes, good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Ma'am, my question is what methodology we should keep in mind to sail through the pandemic?
I missed out that question, ma'am. Can you please repeat it?
What methodology we should keep in mind to sail through the pandemic?
First of all, we have to come out from the blame games or victim stuff to sail that. You should not be always saying that, okay, this is happening, I can't do anything, helplessness stuff, other stuff. Focus on a solution. Try to focus. You are sitting at home, you know your better environment, what hobby, what thing you can do. So be with that mindset. If you're always will be like COVID is there, other stuff is there, and I'm too stressed out, these things. If you keep on thinking in such a manner, you won't able to. You will end up in somewhere in mental or something if you continuously thinking about it. So it's better to focus on a solution. With that mindset only you can.
Did you get your answer, Madhurya?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Perfect. And now I can see Urvi. Yes, Urvi, you can ask your question, beta.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I want to ask, anxiety has been called the butterfly in the stomach. Why this happens?
I didn't get the question. अच्छा, echo is there.
I would repeat. I would repeat it, the question. Smriti, she is saying anxiety is normally connected with butterfly feeling in the stomach, and she was just wanting to know ki, why is it and how to overcome it.
These are the physical symptoms, like when you feel anxiety, these are there. You feel like you're choking and other stuff. So these are including, these are the stuff, your butterflies are there. But if again the thing is like that, if it is not disturbing you things, the frequency is normal, like we have to wake up, next day we have exam, we all have butterflies. Okay, what is going to happen? We are not able to sleep night, that is okay. But if it is disturbing something, you're not able to wake up next day, too much study, you're feeling you're choking, butterflies and other stuff, then it should be addressed. You should.
I would like to add some more to this thing. Actually, we say it some butterfly feeling in the stomach, but it happens because of vasovagal attack. There is a scientific and medical thing attached to it. In general term, we say butterflies in the stomach, but it happens when we are anxious or worried too much. So there is a constriction in your intestine and the muscle in the abdomen, and there is a less blood flow to the organs in the abdomen, and you feel some insect crawling kind of thing. So it is related to neurological hormone. We are too much anxious, we are in too much stress. So those hormones acts and it affects our sometimes in the brain, sometimes in the sometimes you feel like going. You must have felt. I don't know. I think Vandana ma'am also might be will agree to it. We feel like going to washroom too much. Every 5 minutes. Right? So I can see Viva Arora nodding her head. Yeah. So it is that it's related to medical and it is a scientific thing. We call it in general way butterfly, but it is due to anxiety and stress. There is a less blood flow and it is a vasovagal kind of effect. So we are.
I had one query. Normally, when we have sessions within school, we talk about mindfulness and meditation. So children actually say that when one is talking, she will end up and zero down on meditation and being mindful. Please share some tips, with ma'am, on how children can practice mindfulness.
There's echo, so I am not getting the questions. What do you say?
My voice is echoing.
Yes.
I'll speak the question again. Is it better, Smriti?
Yes, ma'am.
Our children normally hear from us, or maybe our parents, they practice mindfulness. Just could you share some tips on how to practice mindfulness?
There are different things, like initially with the mindfulness nowadays it is attached with the affirmations. Mindfulness is attached with the affirmation. There are apps and you will find there are different type of app you can download where they can play, and every day you can make it as a every day there is a challenge in that things. So you can practice the mindfulness in that you have included the affirmations, which will help you to boost your self-esteem, self-confidence, and make you help to be in that particular time. So this is how you can download that app where you can have a schedule things. So this is things you can do in that sense.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Smriti. Any other question? Okay. So we can, Joyshri ma'am, request Sukhmani to propose the formal vote of thanks.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. So this was indeed a wonderful interactive session, I can see, and the gist which I get, talking is very important and listening is, that should be the most important. Talking is important, but listening is most important in today's world or every time. We just jump into the conclusion and we don't see the other side. There may be some other problem. and being healthy is important. Body image doesn't mean that other person is, if somebody is thin is healthy, if somebody is fat is unhealthy. So there must be some reason to it, and it should not, hinder your self-esteem. And believe in hope, positivity. That is very important in today's time. So I'm sure children will be benefited out of this session. But since we are running out of time and a good thing must to an end, I would like to request Miss Sukhmani Kaur of class 40 extend a vote of thanks to ma'am.
Yes. Ma'am, it was an absolute pleasure for all of us to have you with us. We thank you for the wonderful knowledge you have shared and also for listening patiently. Your guidance led many amazing decisions to happen. I also thank Principal Ma'am for arranging such a useful. Thank you all for joining to this webinar with a positive right? Well, and we will return to your off the school soon. Thank you very much.
Vandana ma'am, you would like to say something?
Thank you so much. Thank you. I think we have got the gist of the thing. Ki, talking, as Yoshi ma'am also mentioned and Smriti ma'am also mentioned, is the key to it. And very many times when we look around, we feel we don't have people to talk to. But yes, if you think on your own, सबसे पहले तो आपकी conscience है आपके पास, definitely gives the right answer. And secondly, yes, we all are there for you. And looking forward to your smiles. And thank you so much, Smriti. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Smriti. Thank you, children.
Thank you, ma'am.
God bless. Hope to see you all soon.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, bachas. Thank you.